anything that you need. It's mobile responsive, so you can enter it and check stuff out on your phone. But if you look on the homepage, there is your personal sales for the week, your personal sales for the month, for the campaign, for the year. It has what you're at, like career sales, so how far you are from your next promotion. It has the rep and office ranks for the week before. Actually, this is a new thing where like all mine aren't in here because managers can't have like PRs, but actually two of my little cousins sold. Chase is actually up there on the board. If you see, he sold over $10,000 in his first 10 days. I wish I made a contest with him where I said, if you sell over 10K, I'll bring you to a Knicks game. I should have made it 15,000 because that like he was just like done. So if you go to like my account, like earlier, if you remember, I showed you my customers. So it has like a list of all of my customers and orders, all of that stuff. Under library, there's a bunch of videos and audios and documents. And then there's just some other stuff down here that you can, like, I would go through it when you're home. But the thing you're going to use the most is Rollo/orders. That stands for Rep Online Order Form. And one thing that's kind of cool is you'll see under this drop down, there's a drop down for price list. So if you click on product price list, it opens the price list that you have in like a PDF. So like if you're ever on a demo or like someone asks you a price and you can't find your price list, you can always find it on here. And so the price list looks like there's a lot of stuff, and that's just because there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff, but everything is very well organized. So if you notice over here are any sets, right? Like every single one of the sets is right here. And then under that are the pieces that are in the homemaker set or the basic set, including all the way at the bottom. You'll see that's just like an individual table knife. And so over here are table or steak knife sets. And like the customer can get more than actually there's like 12 piece for stainless or the regular ones. There's just 4-piece steak knife sets, but obviously like when a customer asked me for steak knives, I always said like they were like, can I how much is a set of steak knives? I didn't say like, oh well, the 4 pieces this much. I said, how many would you want? And we could always give like deals and that type of stuff. So on the inside or like of that price list, there's gift sets. And then next to it are specialty knives, which is every knife that's not in the homemaker, the basic set, including just an individual steak knife. And this is the cheese knife, the traditional cheese knife. Under that is storage options, which are any of the blocks or trays individually. And also sheaths. So you know how like your trimmer had that plastic sheath that went over it? That's the trimmer sheath right here. So storage options. There's sheath combos, which I'm not going to like overwhelm, but if you look in the back of your blue book, there's a couple like things that you can look through. And one of them is the sheath combo. You don't need to do it right now. It's in the back folder. You can look through it later. Then over here are kitchen tool sets and accessories. And then on the other side, you have gadgets, so like the can opener, the cheese knife, that type of stuff. You have the flatware, so like this stainless stuff. So like place settings, the chest, the serving pieces, just an individual stainless table knife. Then you have accessories, which like the most important accessory is the super shears. You have garden tools, and you have the sporting and hunting knives. So like literally once you kind of learn the layout, it becomes pretty easy to see it, like everything. And if you notice, so I'm going to explain this, then I'm going to show you an example and it's fully going to make sense. But if you notice, there's 3 columns. There's retail price, there is CPO price, and there's point value. And when I first started, there was just the price and the point value. And the thing that sucked about when I first started was that shipping was not included. So if you think about it, for like everyone, look over the complete set. like the complete set weighs like 30 pounds with the block, especially with every one of the knives and the cutting boards and all that stuff. And to ship and insure that, how much do you think that costs?
$200.
A couple $100. So like when I first started, it was like, hey, you want to buy this set? Okay, well the set's this, but then there's $200 shipping. By the way, there's $200 tax. So what they started doing was they moved to shipping included, but obviously the company doesn't make any money on shipping an item. And what they did was they sat down with UPS and they figured out how much it costs to ship each item. So CPO it stands for commission paid on. It's the price of the item minus the shipping. So because the company doesn't make any money on shipping, what reps get paid on is the CPO value. Does that kind of make sense? So the way that it makes the most sense is when I like explain it and then show you an example. So what point value is you don't need to give free things away to make a sale, but it helps, right? And obviously, like especially when you're sitting down with people that you know, you should give them a good deal. So obviously, like if you give something away for free, that comes out of the order, but not the whole thing. There's a reduced point value. So I'm going to show you an example of entering an order, and it's all going to come together and make sense. So did I just? I was like, no. I did literally just close that. Wow. So Rolo/orders, enter order, and you just pretend like it would be on the phone. It looks pretty similar. It's not like that different. You go to customer order, and you go to order date. You just do today. Order type is regular customer order, and it's going to ask you if it's a virtual. So if not, you do no. Then down here, so let's say everyone like grab your price list. Let's say you did your first demo and the customer got the Homemaker Plus 8. What's the item number for the Homemaker Plus 8?
2018.
And then if you notice, it says CWR. So C is classic. The dark ones aren't like black. It's more of like kind of like a wood tone. We call it classic, like a burnt wood tone. I call the white pearl because I think that's way like classier than like white. And then R is for red. So what color do they want? Do they want CWR?
Well, when are we making up like a?
We're doing a fake order.
White.
Cool. So 2018 W, and let's say that we gave them a free pair of super shears. What's the item number for the super shears?
$77.
So 77. What would you put after that?
C.
Well, you would do the same color as the rest, wouldn't
Well,
you? Yeah. So if you notice up here, it like calculates everything. So when you give something for free, then you check the bonus box. So when I check this, you'll notice that the product total, which is what it cost, like all the products that they're getting are worth, the minus their bonus amount is the order subtotal. And then product CPO is the CPO for the items that they're paying for. And then minus the bonus points for the things you give for free, which are the super shears, is the CPO at the end. So if you were to do this your first order, you would hit your first promotion, you'd make over $100. Does that make sense, or what questions are there on that? Does that kind of make sense? So it's like the CPO for what they buy. If you give something for free, the bonus points, not like the retail price, the bonus points, which is like a reduced point value, come out of that, and then you get the CPO at the end, and it literally does all of the math for you. Are there any questions, or should I go to the next one?
Next.
Cool. So the next one is just the customer information. I pretty much always did like new customer, and so If you notice, like if you could put the zip and you don't need to put the other ones. And when you want to always do the email address so that it could send you, it's going to send them a copy of the receipt, and it's going to send them the tracking information. And if the shipping and the billing are the same, you just check that. So on the next one, it says shipping method. It's pretty much always regular. And you'll notice under number of payments, there's a one-time admin fee, which is broken up over the months. And it's like we outsource it to some like processing company that does like the payment options. So if you notice, to break it up over 2 months, it costs $1.50 a month. To break it up over 3 months, it costs $6, which is $2 a month. And to break it up over 5 months, it's like $2.40. But you'll notice that when you pick the payment options, we'll do it on the 5Pay. It automatically does all of the math for you. And the suggested amount for the amount paid now is $274, which you literally just you type in the suggested amount for these two just so that it knows that you have the right price. And if you look at that 3 set sheet, what does it say that the price for the homemaker is on the 5Pay?
274.
So for every one of the 5Pay prices that you have, it has New Jersey's sales tax already calculated in, and it has the 5Pay, like the admin fee already calculated in for you. So like when we went down the table and did it for the smaller sets and for those sets, it has everything in there. Does that make sense? So you literally just type in the suggested amount and then you go next. And this one is just like order verification to look through and make sure that you have all the right info. So the homemaker, free white shears, everything looks good. And on the last one, you're going to do give me an order number. And what this says is if you wrote up a paper order for the customer, enter the order number that's on that order form. If not, then press yes. And the reason is because they don't want like to double charge that customer. But if you're not going to write up orders unless like your phone isn't working or you need to like put it in post date. So you're pretty much always just going to do yes, and it's just going to give you an order number, and then you do debit or credit card number, and you submit it, and that's it.